I'm gonna comb through the beginning, and I'm just gonna basically take it from where it is now, which is the foundation, and I'm going to just add stuff until it's finished, till I feel like it sounds like a song. So I want like little details in the percussion there. So I want like a little reverse hi-hat, like. Something like that. That is a cool sample. All right, so I'm gonna take that and I'm going to reverse it. There we go. And I'll time it out. That's pretty cool. So we're just gonna drop it in a couple places here. Just like that. And I'm going to make it sound a little dirtier here. I'm gonna use Infinity EQ just to kind of roll off the top end. Nice. So now, a little percussion in there. Just something subtle. That's cool. Just something like that. Shaker and a little stick hit. I'm kind of like trying to blend it in with the snaps that are already there, just to make it a little more interesting. I don't want it to stick out too much. Just like that. Okay, that's nice. Now I want to give this a little bit more of like a dramatic build up in the verse. Kind of like we did with the build. I'm gonna filter out the synths in the verse. I'm just gonna add a filter from kilohertz here. That feels really cool. So I'm just going to automate that a little bit. It's going to start cut off there, and it's going to grow just a little bit throughout that first part of the verse. And then by the end of the verse, it's only going to be opened up to about 3K, 2 or 3K there. It just feels good like that. Now we need something melodic to fill up some of that space. We just carved out all those high frequencies. We need something to fill that space that sounds cool and has a good vibe to it. Let's go into our sample pack and see what we have. Pretty cool. Let's see what we have with the plucks. This electric pluck is really cool. I'm going to load up Anna 2, and we're going to make a quick sound out of it. So I'm going to hit the init button to go back to the initial patch, and I'm just going to drag this pluck right onto the sample oscillator. Hit OK to import it. And now we're going to have a playable synth. Oh, I'll turn down this volume oscillator here. It's volume on oscillator 1. So now we're playing that sample. Now I just want it to be really lush. So I'm going to add a lot of reverb to it. That sounds cool. I'm gonna filter it out a little bit. Let's see if I can play something with that. Ooh, it's really cool there at the second half. So I'm just gonna tuck that in. It's just a little bit of ear candy there. Let's try adding another sound. So we were playing around with that sound. It came from a sample from the pack, but actually, as we were playing with it, we found a better spot for it. So I'm still trying to find something to come in that beginning of the verse that's gonna add a little cool sound. So it's not melodic, but it's cool. So that's pretty nice. I'm going to duplicate that. Let's see how it fits over here. Pretty cool. I still want something that's melodic. So as you can see, I'm just kind of tossing ideas out. I'm not too worried if it's perfect yet. I want like a bell sound, maybe. FM bell, that's pretty cool. As I think about it, I actually think we want the same melody being played from the MIDI pack file. So I'm just going to open that up, and I'm literally just going to delete everything that isn't the top note or the melody. Wow, as I was doing that, I dragged the note over the things and it just kind of like that. This sound would be so cool for that. I'm gonna duplicate the track and I'm going to add that on the downbeat of bar 9 here. Just a little detail, and I'm going to accent it. I'll pull up kilohertz multipass, and I just want this to ring out. Just big reverb, delay. So I'm gonna add reverb on the high frequencies. Big decay time. That's cool. Sounds like a video game bell. Now I'm gonna add some delay in the mid band. That's awesome. Ping pong, pan it out to the left. That's a cool sound. So now this part that we made, we're just going to transpose it down 1 octave. It's just too high right now. So I'm gonna take it down 12 semitones. I also think the velocity is a little hard. I just want it to be a little light. So I'm gonna take the velocity down. That's cool. So I need a fill here. So right now in this verse, the first part sounds really cool. And then all of a sudden the drums come in and it's really big and there's not like a lot of transition happening there. So I need to add a transition. Even just like a little effects transition. I'm gonna go back to our sample pack. Let's look at what kind of effects we have, especially reverse effects. Looks like maybe here's one called Mini. That's awesome. A little bit hard for right now. I love the sound of this one. It's too long, but I'm gonna use that one because it's the right sound. So I'm just gonna chop off before it gets too big. That's exactly what we need. I'm just going to duplicate it here so it has a little bit of a tail. I'll reverse that. And maybe I'll just give it a little bit more impact on the downbeat. Just very subtle, very nice little sweep up. It sounds a little too sweet now. Like I actually am missing a little bit of the excitement that came when the drums came in. So let's try it without the down riser. Let's try a different effect. Maybe that one's too subtle. Let's try this Mini. This might be good. Let's try lining it up. That's pretty cool. It might be a little too mini. So I'm gonna actually just stretch it out. And I'm holding down Alt on the keyboard and just clicking and dragging the region to stretch it out in Logic. That's cool. It's a little grainy, which is actually kind of nice. Let's add a little reverb to it. I'm gonna look at kilohertz reverb for that. That's tight, because you hear the little bit of a reverb tail on the downbeat. That's really cool. So now there's this little melodic thing I played. Doom, 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 doom. And I want to make that a little more exciting. So let's load up another synth patch here. I'm gonna hit Init on Ana 2. I'm gonna go back to the sample pack, to my vocal one-shots, and let's just find a really cool sounding vocal chop. That one's pretty cool. Let's drop that in. That's pretty dope. So now let's just add some effects. Ana has great effects, especially for these vocal one-shots. You can really transform it into something massive. A little bit of chorus. Let's add the multi-limiter. And if you just pull these triangles down on the high, it adds this really sparkly high end. Sounds really nice. And now let's add some reverb and delay. So we're gonna turn on the reverb and delay. I mean, that's pretty much perfect as is. I really want this sound to stick out a little bit more, maybe a bit crusher. Just drive it up with the bit crusher. It's not actually bit crushing that much. The sample rate hasn't changed and the depth hasn't changed, but for some reason it sounds great with that drive. So let's leave it there. And I kind of want it to be like doo-doo-doo-doo, like a little delay on it. So I'm going to go back to Ana and I'm going to look at that delay setting. Maybe a little bit more delay. There we go. Less feedback, more processing. And I'm gonna adjust these low pass and high pass here, so it's it was filtering a little too many of the frequencies off the high end, so I'm just pulling that back up. That's cool. Maybe like a little reverse snare fill or something in there. Let's try that out. Actually, with this, I'm gonna go back to the sample pack. Let's go back into the future bass and see if maybe there's like maybe a clap or something that's gonna fit. That could be cool. It's got a nice tail on it. Let's drop it in here. Yeah, a big clap. That's gonna be cool. Let's see if we can find an even bigger one. You know, I think in the house claps, there's some really big ones. That's pretty cool too. Is there like a crowd? There we go. That one's nice. So now I just need some toms or something that are kind of hitting. There's a really cool tom in there. I'm just gonna change the rhythm a little bit. It actually just needs like one hit. Pretty cool. All right, so I think a crash cymbal on the downbeat would be nice. Just a subtle one, just like that. Wow, that feels really good. Now, when I was listening back to it, I got a little bored at like bar 5. I'm bored at that point. So I need something there that's new, that keeps it exciting. Let's look at our sample pack. Maybe we'll find a good inspiration for something we can add there. Maybe there's a cool guitar riff or something. This is cool. It's just got like single notes. Let's drop it in. So let's make it in the right key. Right now this loop is in E minor, and we are in B minor, or D major, depending on how you look at it. So we're gonna go down to B minor. That's down 5. So I'm just gonna time this out so it's exactly 8 bars long. That's pretty cool. I just want that little bit, and I kind of want it to like swell in and swell out, almost undetected. So I'm going to pull up kilohertz multipass. I'm hearing a phaser, so I'm just going to throw a phaser on here. Let's use the pitch shifter to make it more exciting. So I'm gonna drop a pitch shifter on the high frequencies. So it's only affecting the high frequencies, and I'm gonna take it down about 12 semitones. That's pretty cool. It's a little bit more lo-fi sounding now. Yeah, let's just see what this sounds like if we tuck it into the mix. In my head, I just heard the vocal chop from the drop that we have. And I just want to like throw that in here as well. Let's see. So it's just a little taste of the vocal chop from the drop, and it's just making this verse really interesting. I'm just gonna wash it out completely with reverb. Let's do a snap heap chain. That and a filter. Might be a little too much reverb. Now, I kind of wanted it to feel like it's moving a bit more, so I'm going to use an LFO to modulate the cutoff frequency of the filter. And I just want it to move very slowly. Just like that. And now I just need to set my cutoff so it doesn't cut off too many of the frequencies. So I'm just going to tuck it back, maybe only 5 or 6%. See, like that, it's really nice and subtle. That's nice. Just gives them a little taste of what's to come in the drop. This guitar needs to sit a little bit better in the mix, so I'm gonna go back to multipass, and I'm gonna also add a reverb on this. Let's copy this vocal chop over. Maybe it'll be cool here too. One thing I want to add is a little bit of a riser out of the verse into the build. And I want a little bit of a bigger one. I actually want to go back to that really cool riser we had. It was called Subtle. I'm going to add that one back in here because I think it'll fit at the very end of the verse like this. Just like that. Solid. Okay, so we've got a nice verse. Just to hear where we started with the verse, this is a copy of where we started before we went in and started really detailing all the parts here. And now we've got this. Dope. I heard one thing. I want to hear that little bling thing that happens again. It just sounds so cool. Let's hear it here.
If you want to see how we create this entire track from complete scratch, be sure to check out the EDM Track from Scratch Masterclass on Slate Academy. These videos are full of tips and tricks to help you improve as a producer. You can watch it now as a part of the Slate Digital All Access Pass, which includes thousands of dollars worth of award-winning plugins, the industry's most game-changing synth, Anna 2, and masterclasses taught by some of the biggest names in the industry. Get access now, starting at just $9.99 per month.